Countdown. Start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.
All right, establish connection. Oh, there we go. Now it's working.
Coming to you live from a top-secret quarantined subterranean vault, it's Streamin' the Steam with John Sprocket. I used to travel the land, playing steam-powered songs with my band. But for the time it seems I've been quarantined, so now I'm just streaming the steam coming through your broadband. Streamin' the Steam is broadcast to a live audience.
In the shadows after dark, they always hop from town to town while running from the law. Yeah. Tougher pair than Bonnie and Clyde, Jesse James or Mr. Hyde. Destruction that they leave behind is the worst you ever saw. And if you ever meet them, the odds are pretty slim that you'll survive a ride with bad luck, Chuck and Tombstone Kim. Oh yeah, you're never gonna get away. Once these two get started, boy, they're mighty hard to stop. Oh yeah.
More than a cop.
This is an urgent news bulletin. Tombstone Kim and her partner Bad Luck Chuck are in the area. They should be considered armed and extremely dangerous.
First time they came to town, nearly tore to the ground, knocking over banks and robbing everybody blind. Long as these two are on the loose, seems no one could their goose. Could be they'll keep this up until the end of time. But in the next town over, a new sheriff's in town, and he's declared he's gonna take this deadly duo down. Oh yeah, they're never gonna get away. Once these two get started, boy, they're mighty hard to stop. Oh yeah, they'll live to see another day. If you wanna put a stop to Chuck and Kim,
It's gonna take one mighty cop.
This kind of man won't take no guff. Deputies were ready when the two of them walked in. Yeah. Chuck and Kim were pretty quick, jumped behind a pile of bricks. They could tell that everything was looking pretty grim. Kim said, I think our finish is just around the bend. Chuck said, let's go out swinging right down to the end. Oh yeah, they're never gonna get away. Once these two get started, boy, they're mighty hard to stop.
Showdown with the cops.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special live-streamed show from the brand new studio of The Cog is Dead. My name is John Sprocket, the singer and songwriter for The Cog is Dead, and I am playing some songs for you this lovely afternoon, evening, night, whatever time zone you may be in. So I won't really be able to participate in the chat too well because the computer keyboard is behind me, but I can see your messages and things that you say in here. So, is everything sounding okay? No one has said that there's no sound, so I think technologically everything's working all right. It is such a pleasure to be here in this brand new recording space. I'm so happy with the way this all turned out. I'll turn the lights on a little brighter in just a little bit, but for now I want to play some more music. But thank you all so much. All of you who are watching right now are donors who helped make this possible. And even if you donated after the studio was built, trust me,
I still have a fair amount of debt to pay off for building all of this. So thank you so very much for your generous donations and help to keep the Cog is Dead's music going in a nicer, newer space. So, I'm going to play a new song. It's one that's got an old Western adventure film soundtrack kind of vibe to it. And this was also a song that was a donor, not for this, but on Patreon. And I wrote a song for them using the name they wanted. That name was Merkwerky. Way out in the west, things looked a little murky. The odds were slim and somewhat grim for the town of Old Merkwerky. A storm was coming like they'd never seen in Tucson or Albuquerque, with hail and snow and robot buffalo through the town of Old Merkwerky. Merkwerky, you have got to be prepared to take on anything you face. When the cards are stacked against you and there's no one to defend you, then your challenge has to be embraced. Merkwerky, if you band together, you can weather any raging storm. So it's time to join your forces, get your gear and join your horses, and protect the place where you were born. Wild storm and next stampede came rolling in. This weren't no flock of turkeys. The robot herd of buffalo were spurred to the town of Old Merkwerky. And hailstones fell that were as big as bricks. By now the folks were perky. They formed a crew and they knew what to do for the town of Old Merkwerky. Merkwerky, you have got to be prepared to take on anything you face. When the cards are stacked against you and there's no one to defend you, then your challenge has to be embraced. Merkwerky, if you band together, you can take on any raging storm. So it's time to join your forces, get your gear and ride your horses, and from the place where you were born, Merkwerky. Lester's farm and turned them into jerky. Though tough to eat, it was good robot meat in the town of Old Merkwerky. They took the hailstones and they ground them up to make sarsaparilla slurpees. There's no more dread and everyone gets fed in the town of Old Merkwerky. You have got to be prepared to take on anything you face. When the cards are stacked against you and there's no one to defend you, then your challenge has to be embraced. Merkwerky, if you band together, you can weather any raging storm. So it's time to join your forces, get your gear and ride your horses, and take the place where you were born. Thank you very much. So, the one thing I have not yet figured out in this studio is proper ventilation. I've soundproofed it very well, and it's a little insulated. It's very insulated. It's a soundproof room, and
I've doubled up layers upon layers on the wall. So there's the drywall, and then there's a layer of plywood, and then there's a layer of fiberboard sheathing, and then there's this layer of acoustic foam, which you see here. And it all works very well for keeping outside noises out and keeping most of my studio noises in, but it's very hot because there's no airflow. And right now it's a little chilly, so when we have the heat on in the house, it's just blowing hot air from the vent, which is right below me on the floor. So I'll figure that out. In the summer, it'll actually be great because the AC will be running all the time. But in fall and winter, it gets a little warm in here. But that's all right. I will suffer for my art. Let me take a quick look at the comments because I have to look at the screen here. How's it going, everyone? Thank you. Thank you, and I'm glad you like the new studio. This room works amazingly well for recording. You can't tell right now, I've got reverb on here, but this room actually has very little echo, which is fantastic for voiceover. All right, let's keep moving with the music, since that's the main feature here. So, here's a song from the album Carnival of Clockwork. And I always say it's kind of appropriate, especially after the past year of everyone having to be trapped inside and not be able to go outside. It's nice to have a chance to go out once again, even though I'm streaming from a studio. But that's all right, because this gives me a chance to perform for a lot of you that have not yet had a chance to see me or see me with the full band and one of the shows. So this is a live, interactive, somewhat performance. Thank you so much, Danny. Glad everything sounds good. And yes, all artists have to suffer, if you can consider what I'm doing art. I'm just singing silly songs in a very hot room. All right, enough of that. Let's move on to the song We All Have Fears.
Once in a quiet little town, just a couple hours once the sun went down, the crew began assembling a thrilling new attraction, more exciting than a merry-go-round. This was the first one of its kind, a thrilling new attraction called a roller coaster ride. But the people wouldn't ride it. They said, what if we collided with another car and died? Well, we all have fears, and we know someday a time is gonna come. But no matter how you cut it, everyone will kick the bucket. When our days are done, so don't waste your years doing nothing with the little time you got. Don't just sit right there and diddle, go on out and live a little, or else you'll only stand around and rot. Alice was quiet as a mouse. A modest little man was afraid to leave his house. Spent all of his hours, he worried and he cowered, hiding safely while he grumbled and he groused. Well, after he waited many years, his tiny little ticker had a jamming of its gears. The years caused a worry, sent his heart into a flurry, and he finally died of fear. Well, we all have fears, and we know someday a time is gonna come. But no matter how you cut it, everyone will kick the bucket when the days are done. So don't waste your years doing nothing with the little time you got. Don't just sit right there and piddle, go on out and live a little, or else you'll only stand around and rot. Everyone will kick the bucket when our days are done. So don't waste your years doing nothing with the little time you got. Don't just sit right there and piddle, go on out and live a little, or else you're lonely, stand around and rock. Thank you. Just unplugged my headphones. 1 second. So what do I get for jumping around too much? cog is dead version of this fire. Sorry, for those of you that don't know, I was reading the comments or the chat. For a second, I thought you said the cog is dead version of this is fine. Thanks so much, everyone. I'm glad everything's sounding good to you. So, I'm going to play another song that is from that same album, and this one I had so much fun getting to collaborate with this gentleman that we have performed with a few times over the years. An absolutely splendid chap by the name of Professor Elemental. And I have to say, he wrote his own verse for this, so I had no idea what he was writing. I just said, here, I want you on this section of the song, make up whatever you want about this amazing gumbo. And so I didn't get the files until right before the album had to be sent off to be manufactured. So I had no idea until the day before getting the CDs made that what this was going to be. And I was delighted with what he gave us. So anyway, this is a song called The Gumbo Song. Let's go on down to New Orleans. She always makes the tastiest gumbo. This ain't no hooks or floppy brain. It takes away your aches and pains. You just gotta know which way to go. Now these ladies fixing folks like you and me. This two could make a blind man start to see. This ain't no hooks or magic cure. Just lots of herbs so fine and pure. Special secret family recipe. So come and get yourself a helping of that gumbo from the pot. It's good for all the nails who hit it sure to hit the spot. It's full of all them secret things you'll only find in New Orleans. So hurry up and get it while it's hot. Well, the people travel here from near and far. Some in old steamboat or motor car. They're flocking here from all around just to sits and plays his old guitar. One day in walked the gentleman of fame. Hello. Professor Elemental was his name. He said,
hello, my lovely dear. I've come to taste your gumbo here.
And after that, he never was the same.
Oh, good Lord.
Come and get yourself a helping of that gumbo from the pot. It's good for all the nails who hit it sure to hit the spot. It's full of all them secret things you'll only find in New Orleans. Hurry up and get it while it's hot. Take it, Professor!
I've never been excited by a bite like this. My insides were ignited and fried to a crisp, like the kiss of a stranger arrived on my lips. I started jiving my thighs to my hip. I feel 10 years younger. This incredible tipple gave me X-ray vision and an extra nipple. So come where some know, fun to make your tongue glow. Something funny for your tummy, loads of lovely gumbo.
Get yourself a helping of that gumbo from the pot. It's good for all the nails who wear it sure to hit the spot.
Oh yeah.
It's full of all them secret things you'll only find in New Orleans. So hurry up and get it while it's hot.
I mean, it is boiling.
It's full of all those secret things you'll only find in New Orleans. So hurry up and get it while it's hot. That is some mighty fine gumbo right there. Woo-hoo. Thank you all so very much. You know, I just realized I forgot to turn on my special lighting. I've got to adjust my headphones. The joys of trying to work with in-ear monitors when you're not used to it. But this way I don't have big, bulky headphones on the whole time. So, actually, let me show you the studio while I do this. I'll turn on the lights. Got the overhead light. And all of these lights are color changing, controlled with a remote control. This way I can adjust the lighting to whatever I need, whatever the mood is, depending on a video I'm shooting or whatever else I may need. I can make it cool, soft. I can make it dark and foreboding. Pretty much whatever it needs, whatever the song and video calls for. And right now, I'm going to play a brand new song. It's a cover, but it's a brand new track that has not yet been released. If you're on Patreon, you may have heard it, because so far it has only been released to patrons, but it will be released to the public at some point. But for now, here's an exclusive performance. I don't know how it's going to go, because I haven't really had a lot of time. I just put this one on Patreon maybe a week ago, I think. So I haven't had a lot of time to rehearse. But that's all right. Let me get some mood lighting going. Let's make things nice and evil feeling. And my high-tech lights. By high-tech, I mean cheap little disco balls. Let's switch directions. Oh, come on. There we go. Finally got it to switch. Okay, let me turn these lights off. Set the mood. This is also the problem of making something completely on your own. There we go. Now we've set the mood. We got the mood lighting. All right. Well, like I said, this song is a cover. I did not write it, but it's one that I've heard a fair amount of times and really have enjoyed. All right, here we go. This is a song by the band I don't know how, but they found me. It's called Choke.
Stop, drop, and drag me into place. And like the fire escapes, I'll break your pretty face. Yeah. Oh, you clever little things, the sycophantic tunes. What a precious basket case. Yeah, yeah. Now shut your dirty mouth. If I could burn this town, I wouldn't hesitate to smile while you suffocate and die. And that would be just fine. And what a lovely time that it would surely
Whew, thank you. So, managed to get through it okay, I guess. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying I would be a good dungeon master. I have never played D&D, believe it or not. I have so many friends who have. I've just never had the chance. Okay. Well, while keeping the light red and dark, let's play another song. This song, now, that was the most recent song whatsoever. Now we're going to go back all the way to the very first album. This song is about a giant mechanical sea monster. There's an ancient legend, an oceanic tale, an underwater monster, not a fish and not a whale. It isn't quite a creature, it isn't quite machine, and you won't know what hit you till you hear your crewmen scream. Beneath the ocean, it's waiting in the dark. When there's stormy weather, it will tear your ship apart. Its tentacles are messy, its teeth are made of steel. You may call it myth, but I assure you that it's real. When the waves come rolling in and lightning fills the sky, all the sailors know that the Leviathan is nigh. If he grabs onto your boat, he'll never let you go. Soon you'll join 1,000 ships he's sent to the depths below. A body made of metal, but with a living brain. Survivors who have told of it have all been called insane. But many ships have vanished, they've gone without a word. Perhaps the stories that these sailors tell aren't that absurd. So if you sail the ocean, stay always on your guard, or you may end up lifeless when that monster hits you hard. He'll wrap himself around you, you'll wish that you weren't born. So if this beast attacks you, please don't say that you weren't warned. When the waves come rolling in and lightning fills the sky, all the sailors know that the Leviathan is nigh. If he grabs onto your boat, he'll never let you go. Soon you'll join 1,000 ships he's sent to the depths below. When the waves come rolling in and lightning fills the sky, all the sailors know that the Leviathan is nigh. If he grabs onto your boat, he'll never let you go. Soon you'll join 1,000 ships he's sent to the depths below. Thank you so much. Whew. I will endure this warmth. Maybe if I switch the lightning color from a warm color to a cool color, maybe it'll have a placebo effect, and I'll think it's cooling down. Ah, so nice and relaxing. Bam. I'll switch over and play a more upbeat song, too. This is one that I always have fun playing. It's a science song. It's a song about scientists. It's a song about love, friendship, and rejection. It's called The Greatest Team That Never Was. You've got a spark in your big blue eyes every time you got a new idea, or you hypothesize when you make a brand new breakthrough. Well, you get so darn excited that your glasses go askew.
nitrogen and oxygen. Only when they work together can you make a drink. But you seem to think that I stink. Oh, CC, you're such a brainy genius. Believe me, if everyone could see us, you and me, we could be the greatest team the world has seen. But CC, you say you'd rather work alone. Oh, CC, don't you see? We could have been the greatest scientific duo the world has ever known. Don't you know 2 heads are better than 1? We could have cured the Omicron variant, but you had other plans. So I guess I'm sailing solo. Oh, CC, you're such a brainy genius. Believe me, if everyone could see us, you and me, we could be the greatest team the world has seen. But you'd rather throw it all away. Oh, that poor fellow. Well, I guess I could just keep moving on with the music. What do you say? That's really most of what I had planned for today is music. In fact, that's about all I have planned. I've been so busy building the studio and moving. This whole process has been crazy. This is the first house I've ever bought, and I had maybe 2 months between buying the house and the end of the lease at the last one. So during that 2 months, of course, on top of that, having to move everything else in the entire house, I had to renovate this room and turn it into a studio. So it's been an insane time. And then, of course, during all that, all of my other work got backed up because, you know, my projects can't just stop. So I kind of had to pause them, and then I'm rushing to catch up on everything right now. So it's kind of crazy. But I'm glad to be in here finally and have a permanent recording studio set up, and everything's going fine. For now. I'm a little busy. Not a bad thing. And very soon I will be all caught up. So, let's sing a song. Little town, home of Wilbur Redpot, finest coppersmith around. He was famous for his products as they sold extremely well. Competitors were livid as their business income fell. Now Alexander Copperplate, a man from out of town, declared his gang was coming soon to shoot poor Wilbur down. The town was in a panic, they knew something should be done, and they had till morning sun. Saddle up your steam bike and put your goggles on. We gotta be prepared or else we'll all be dead by dawn. Copperplate is panicked and his face is turning red. Now he's after Wilbur's head. The townsfolk got together and they figured out a plan. They knew they'd have to do their best to save their fellow man. Though they had no weapons, they all had a lot of brains. They used machines to leave their villain in a world of pain. So Wilbur brought the copper, while Frank supplied the steel. Bob and Sue had extra chains, and Tommy brought the wheels. They knew they'd have a chance with these, they knew they'd win the fight, and they worked all freaking night. Saddle up your steam bike and put your goggles on. We gotta be prepared or else we'll all be dead by dawn. Copperplate is coming and his eyes are seeing red, and he's after Wilbur's head. Key change. Copperplate arrived at dawn, stayed true to his word, but the town was deathly silent, not a soul was to be heard. He yelled out, "Redpot, come on out and fight me like a man!" That was when the churning and the chugging sounds began. An army of his townsfolk poured out into the street. Each of them on steam bikes, and they all were packing heat. They had his men surrounded, there was fear on every face, and they put them in their place. Saddle up your steam bikes let's show 'em who's in charge. We got our ropes and grappling hooks and weapons to discharge. Copper played his panic, now his face is turning white,
And he's gonna win this fight.
That's right, let's go! Steam bikes, we finally took 'em down. We strung 'em up and licked 'em good and ran them out of town. Verdigris Patina is a peaceful town once more, and we won the Copper War.
Thank you so much.
Look at this. Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you. Slapper after slapper, you say? Well, I try. Thank you very much. So this is a song that I wrote toward the end of 2020 because it had been such an insane year. We've all been in quarantine. We've all been through all sorts of things. It was a wild ride for sure, to say the least. So I wrote a song basically about how ridiculous the year and the planet have been, and kind of a fantasy of wanting to take off in a spaceship and get away from it all. So this song is called I Don't Want to Live on This Planet Anymore.
It's been an unrelenting year filled with anxiety and fear. Not quite enough to stop our gears,
But it slowed them down.
I think that now I've had enough. Life on the earth is just too rough. It's time to pack up all my stuff and get out of town. I don't wanna live on this planet anymore. I think it's time to take a trip where no one's gone before. Please come and take me away to another planet. Teach me your alien ways. Sure, it's better than this crazy world. It has to be that far. So please take me away now to live among the stars. I'll send a signal out to space, asking to save me from this place. It's time to leave the human race. Feels like I've had enough. I've done all that there is to do. Now let me fly away with you. I've heard that Bowie's out there too. Can you beam me up? I don't wanna live on this planet anymore. I think it's you to let me in, so open up the door. Please come and take me away to another planet. Teach me your alien ways. I'm sure it's better than this crazy world. It has to be by far. So please take me away now to live among the stars.
And all of a sudden, a bright light shined down, and an alien ship made its way to the ground. The beings aboard looked around where they stood, then shut the door quickly and said,
Nah, we're good. Please come and take me away to
And that was my 2020. How was yours? Now we're already at the end of 2021. I feel like, personally, this year has been an improvement. But you know, everyone's had a different experience. Oh. I see what I'm supposed to play next. I got those songs mixed up. That's all right. All right, switch back to the red. The green wasn't even intentional. That was a spontaneous decision. Yes. Oh, in fact, I'm going to switch the lights on my desk, too. Come on. There we go.
I need this to be fully red, because this is the most evil song of all. It's the song about a villain, a bad guy. Black hat, black suit, my shady clothes, mustache twirl tight beneath my nose, creeping. I look in the shadows, 'cause I'm a criminal. Oh, hiss at me when I'm around that mess. I'll take without a sound. My lair is hidden underground. My scheme, the pinnacle. So you're a good guy, help out if you could, guy. Not misunderstood, guy. Doing as you should, guy. I'm that bad type, I'm particular tracks type. Might just use an axe type, keep my mustache wax type. I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. I'd like the world in my control. You say I'm diabolical, that's me. I've got to play the role so one-dimensional. Kidnap the damsel in distress, but she won't wear the wedding dress. So I'll just tie her up, I guess, leaving a ransom note. So you're a course guy, swooping on a horse guy, rescuing with force guy, take the hero's course guy. I'm that mean type, out to get your green type, try to haunt the scene type, comically obscene type. I'm the bad guy. Go! I'm only good at being I like when you get mad. It does my old heart glad, now and then. But wait, what's that? The antidote's under your hat. Well, you may have solved this crime, but I'll get you next time. Drat spoiled again. I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. Come on, you know who I am. I'm the bad guy. Whew. Thank you all so much. I think the next song's a little bit lighter. Oh, it's much lighter. Much lighter. So let's lighten the mood. What color should I go to now? I have so many color options. The green, orange. Green and orange, why not? Okay.
So, here's another song that was a collaboration, but this is just going to be me today, because it's kind of hard to have everybody do a verse on the recording. This is a song that we did with Steam-Powered Giraffe, and it's a song about a machine, but it's a very absurd machine. It's called the Incredible Jelly Donut Juicer.
Time that he was only 3, a black young boy named Timothy, and big ambitions outchanged the world. A genius and philanthropist, he made quite an extensive list of new designs waiting to be unfurled. Spent his life creating things like special shoes that bounced on springs and toasters that made barbecue pork rinds. But though his inventions all were great, it seemed that he had yet to make the one to truly benefit mankind. One foggy morning he noticed a cop eating some donuts in a coffee shop. As he slurped out the insides of his pastry, Timothy was struck with his best idea.
It's the incredible jelly donut juicer. It can bring so many people joy. Just toss in a donut, turn it on, and out comes that delicious glob. Treat for any little girl or boy.
He had built his prototype, he had sincerely hoped it might get noticed at the 29 World's Fair. Drew a crowd around his booth of folks who had a big sweet tooth, from Boston cream to lengthy French eclairs. Soon he made the front page news. The world demanded donut juice. Everybody wanted his machine. The world became obsessed and crazed with siphoning their jelly glaze, the best phenomenon you'd ever seen. One fine morning at a science fair, a man from a large academy was there. He took just one taste and widened his eyes. Said, son, we're giving you the Nobel Prize
for the incredible jelly donut juicer. It can bring so many people joy. Just toss in a donut, turn it on, and out comes that delicious glob. Treat for any little girl or boy.
That's right, folks. Step right up and receive your very own jelly donut juicer. No need to shop. There's plenty to go around. That's right. Now, spread over your toast, put on your salads, make some delicious soup, or just drink it by the glassful.
Every success, it comes at a price. Though his intentions and dreams were nice, the calorie count was just too high. Made everybody go big and wide.
Curse the incredible jelly donut juicer. It can make so many people fat. By guzzling down that tasty glob, the people turn to massive blobs. So Timothy's invention then was scrapped.
Oh, yeah.
He went back home to start again from scratch.
Back to the old drawing board. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Let me see. I want to see if I have a video. I guess I don't have a video to show. It's been so long since I've streamed anything. I thought maybe I had a video left over from the old Streaming the Steam. Oh yeah, that's why I've used the Streaming the Steam intro as well. I had absolutely no time to make a new intro for this show. So this is sort of a special, exclusive Streaming the Steam, if you want to call it that. It's just a concert. I wanted it to have an opening, and I had no time to make one. Well, that'll be fun today. Just looking at the set list here. I think I'll take a few seconds too and look at these comments, partly because I just need to take a few seconds. I've been going nonstop. Normally live I can play a video or something, but this is just me in the studio, just on camera, live. Need a beverage to go with that scenery, huh? I mean, this is about all I've got right now, some water. And the water fuels the steam, of course. All right. Moving on. Here's a song from the most recent full-length album, and that is Songs of the People. The song is called Live to Fight Another Day. "30-hour flight in a dingy dirigible, in a cloudy sky where the land wasn't visible. Sat a quiet man so focused, just had one thought in his brain. Nathaniel knew what he had to do. He had to find a way to kill the pain. He had searched to improve his condition. He had pain in his eyes, it clouded his vision, spending all his time and money. It was driving him insane. Well, he swore up and down he would search the world around until his faith could be attained. An experimental method that could cure him if he was so. Nathaniel headed there with eyes fixed firmly on the prize. And when everything was done, all his pain was finally gone. But then so were his eyes. Well, that's alright, that's okay. Don't you know you live to fight another day? Use a little grease, make sure you never cease to keep your wheels turning in the proper way. That's alright, that's okay. Don't you know you live to fight another day? Use a little grease, make sure you never cease to keep your wheels turning in the proper way. And he learned how to write with a slate and a stylus. There was nothing in this world he would let stand in his way. He was strong, he was proud, he let nothing get him down. His drive was getting bolder every day. He could sail through the sky with precision. He could sense where he was, though he lost his vision. But the one thing he couldn't see was something yet to come. As he tightened his grip on a rope as when it slipped, and then he lost his thumbs. Well, that's alright, that's okay. Don't you know you live to fight another day? Use a little grease, make sure you never cease to keep your wheels turning in the proper way. That's alright, that's okay. Don't you know you live to fight another day? Use a little grease, make sure you never cease to keep your wheels turning in the proper way. Search for a cure and his passion was burning as he spent his every moment doing research for the cause. He would try, he would fail, he would write his notes in braille, and he would make improvements on his flaws. No one laughed, they thought he could do it, but he said he should quit. But he kept sticking to it, he refused to let his handicaps make him feel insecure. And though everybody scoffed, all his diligence paid off when he finally found the cure. So never give up, never, never give up. No, never give up, never, never give up. No, that's alright, that's okay. Don't you know you live to fight another day? Use a little grease, make sure you never cease to keep your wheels turning in the proper way. That's alright, that's okay. Don't you know you live to fight another day? Use a little grease, make sure you never cease to keep your wheels turning in the proper way. Thank you. I guess still haven't fully got the lyrics down for that one. I put too many words together in succession when writing that one. And it doesn't help that I haven't had a chance to play very many shows at all in the past year or more, almost 2 years at this point.
We're moving on to a silly one now.
The warmth. The warmth never ends. Let's switch this back to blue. That's better.
I'll switch all these back to blue. I want to change it. Actually, no. Let's do purple. Let's get crazy. Whatever. Let's just keep going with some music. This is one in the style of an old country artist by the name of Mr. Jerry Reed. It's called The Story of Steakless.
Tennessee lived a young boy named Nicholas Lee, but folks all called him Steakless, cause he made really good steaks. Ha! On the day he became a man, moved out to Texas and bought him some land, built himself a cattle ranch. That was one amazing place. He developed himself a special technique, make your mouth water, make your knees weak. Steak so good you'd slap your mama, but then she'd slap you back. He opened a steakhouse there in town. Pretty soon the word got around, and everybody said, Lord Almighty, this boy has got a knack.
And if you ever find him, remember this one thing. Around these parts, if you want Steakless, he is called the king. All hail Steakless, king of the Houston steaks. Just come on down to Texas and sample the goodness that he makes. And if you don't believe us, this boy's got what it takes. There's never been a half of that taste any better than the ones old Steakless makes.
Time went on and business changed. Wasn't too easy out on the range. Mom and pop stores shut their doors when big corporations came around. Next thing you knew, without any warning, there were corporate steakhouses on every corner, driving all the local business right down into the ground. Steakless got mad, clenched his fist, said, hey now, I won't stand for this. Ain't nobody gonna put my cattle ranch out of commission. He called out the company, said, let's make a deal. I challenge y'all to make a better meal, and the loser has to leave town for good after this competition.
So they arranged a cook-off, a show of art and skill. But Steakless wasn't bluffing, he was ready for the kill. All hail Steakless, king of the Houston steaks. Just come on down to Texas and sample the goodness that he makes. And if you don't believe us, this boy's got what it takes. There's never been a half of that taste any better than the ones old Steakless makes.
So Steakless walked up to the grill, there was fire in his eyes. He was confident he'd win this thing, he knew he was do or die. Them city boys, they laughed at him, said, no way you can win. Steakless smiled, tipped his hat, and said, let the games begin. All right. That boy knew how to tan their hides. When it was over, as you probably guessed, seemed the issue'd been put to rest. Them corporate steaks was pretty good, but they just could not compete. Whether baked or broiled or grilled or fried, I tell you, there's not a man alive who even took a chance at touching the magic of that meat. The companies tried, they had their chance, but it looked like Steakless was keeping his ranch. That corporate suit said, well, it looks like you got lucky today. Steakless said, boy, that ain't luck, it's skill. Nobody's gonna beat me on my grill, but y'all are welcome to come on back next time you're in the mood to play.
So next time you're in Texas and you're hungry for the best, make sure you come and get the only steak that stood the test. All hail Steakless, king of the Houston steaks. Just come on down to Texas and sample the goodness that he makes. And if you don't believe us, this boy's got what it takes. There's never been a half of that taste any better than the ones old steaks.
Sing it again!
All hail Steakless, king of the Houston steaks. Just come on down to Texas and sample the goodness that he makes. And if you don't believe
I hear? Ooh. Yes, it is a silly song. Bit silly. Well, once again, I have to say thank you so much for your donation, and thank you for joining me today. This is fun. This is the first time I've done a full-length live-streamed show, and first time doing it in the studio, in this hot box. I need to find a way to get some ventilation in here, some air conditioning or something. I'm not sure yet, because the room has to stay enclosed. I can't let outside noises come in. There's even a window behind here, but I've had to seal off the window. Now, just so you know, there is a fire escape, okay? So if there is an emergency, I do have a hidden escape door. But that's only in case of an emergency. So for the most part, it has to stay closed and covered over. So I need to find a good way to cool this room down when the heat has to be on in the house. Well, up next we have another silly song. How about that? And it's another song about food. That's not a big surprise. I need to release an entire compilation like Weird Al did that's just a food album. It's got to have, the walking taco, and it's got to have jelly donut juicer and steakless, and there's a ton of them. The gumbo song. But speaking of the walking taco, that's the one I'm playing right now.
Something lurking in the grocery store. They say it's been there for a year or more. But lightning struck that building and it sprang to life. Now that tortilla's got a knife. Yikes, run for your life! The walking taco's coming after you tonight. A heart horror filled with beans and rice. The walking taco's only looking for a bite. It's an evening of guacamole and fries. The taco walks tonight. And as the taco makes his way toward you, he's joined by flautas and burritos too. The chimichangas chill you right down to the core. An entree or meat masala. Here comes some more. The walking taco's coming after you tonight. A heart horror filled with beans and rice. The walking taco will be looking for a bite. It's an evening of guacamole and fries. The taco walks tonight. The taco walks across the land, and he extends his little hand. He comes to you on bended knee and offers you his taco plea. If you could look inside of me, so small and filled with stale chorizo. You see, I don't wish to cause you fright. I just want you to be my amigo tonight. The walking taco's only looking for a friend. He's no desire for your life to end. The walking taco will make everything alright. It's an evening of guacamole delight. The taco walks tonight. The taco walks tonight. The taco walks tonight. The taco walks tonight. The taco walks tonight.
The taco walks tonight. What more do you want me to say?
I think I need to retune my guitar just a little bit. How we doing? That feels all right. It feels all right, because the taco walks tonight. Oh, you've never heard that song before? Yeah, it's a little bit of an obscure one. It's not on an album. The origin of that song was I already had some music recorded for a project that ended up not happening. So the music was already good to go. And I went to the store and took a photo of this Lunchables walking taco, and I just posted a photo that said, "Beware the walking taco." Of course, immediately I got a comment from someone saying that they expect a song about that. So I thought, you know what, let's do that. And immediately jumped into the recording booth and came up with some lyrics, and within, I think, 2 hours of them posting that, had a song and released it. It was the fastest song that had ever been released in the history of the Cog is Dead. Just based on a random suggestion in a post. And even though it is not on an album, it's one that I have immense fun performing. Maybe it should go on the next album. I don't know. If it fits. We'll see. So, here's another new one. This one is, how long ago this? It just came out earlier this year, I think. I can't remember. 2020, 2021, they're all a blur. But this one is another new original song. And whenever there's a new album, this will be on it. I've been going back and forth between doing original songs, doing cover songs, and eventually will cobble together another album. But I've been so focused on just trying to stay productive and keep putting out new material every single month. It's helping to improve my skills as a producer and songwriter and musician, as well as just keeping you all entertained, I hope. So here's one of those new pieces of entertainment. It's a new song called Can You Help Me?
City streets, dress my wounds in dirty linen sheets as I stagger, bruised and battered. A vicious gang who thrive on causing harm have left me shattered with a broken arm, hurt gravely. Someone save me! Can you help me be myself again on this sultry summer night, since I barely feel alive? I'm not asking for too much. No, all I really want is to survive. Stumble into a local fix-it shop. I spot the owner just before I drop. She comes to me, makes a new me. She amputates and lets the wound congeal, then makes a new arm out of brass. I feel its movement. What improvement? Can you help me be myself again on this sultry summer night, since I barely feel alive? I'm not asking for too much. No, all I really want is to survive. I will soon repay. It mattered when I asked her, can you help me be myself again on this sultry summer night? Since I barely feel alive, I'm not asking for too much. No, all I really want is to survive. To survive. Ha! Thank you.
Will we hear chicken pot pie? Oh, Now we're getting requests in here. Chicken pot pie and Loverboy. Loverboy, I've done a fair few times. I'm not prepared to do Loverboy or Chicken Pot Pie. I don't have the backing track set up. Some of you know that one. It's from the first Cog is Dead album, Steam Powered Stories. Oh, Loverboy, that woman's heart is not a toy. Don't play with her affections or falsify her joy. Just settle down. You better stop running around. Soon you're gonna wind up down 6 feet underground. Loverboy. And yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for that one. Chicken Pot Pie is one that I need to release. I've actually recorded the full studio version of it. Haven't figured out the right time to release it yet. But most of you don't know that one because it's the first song the Cog is Dead ever released. Or actually, no, didn't release. First song the Cog is Dead ever wrote. But it has not yet been released, with the exception of the live version that's on the Cog is Dead live studio video, or live concert film. Sorry, my mind is faster than my mouth. But yeah, that one will be released at some point because I have the song finished. For those of you who don't know it, I'll play a little sample of it.
Back when I was just a lad, I didn't appreciate the things I had. Didn't realize I had it so good. And I'd go back again if only I could.
You see the power ballad influence.
Every now and then I feel a sudden longing for a home-cooked meal. Mama's meatloaf or her peanut butter toast. Oh, the one thing I miss most. Chicken pot pie. Chicken pot pie. Have I loved it? And I'm still not sure why. Chicken pot pie.
There. You can all hold up your lighters now. Yes, that song will be coming out at some point. Well, I do have a softer song to play right now, actually. So let's switch over to the blue lights. All blue.
Really, really set the mood for this one.
Double check to make sure we are tuned. All right. This guitar stays in tune pretty well, but you never know. Especially because I just put new strings on yesterday. You don't want it going out of tune. All right. This is the one sad song of the set.
When I met you, I gave you my heart, 'cause I knew you'd need it more. And though I'm glad you've got this new part, still it leaves me very sore. I know that you will be alright. There's nothing else I could ask for. So go enjoy your brand new life as I bleed oil on the floor. In summertime, the air was warm and fine, but she was just sitting there all alone and in despair. With a broken heart, she'd been torn apart, shattered and abused. He left her barely ticking. Joanna was her name, reduced to just a frame, hollow husk of a machine where a ticker once had been. Such a lovely soul, now an empty hole. I could tell clearly she was still worth fixing. When I met you, I gave you my heart, 'cause I knew you needed more. And though I'm glad you got this new part, still it leaves me very sore. I'm glad that you will be alright. There's nothing else I could ask for. So go enjoy your brand new life as I bleed oil on the floor. I'll just lay here and close my eyes as I slowly drift away. And though I know that I cannot die, I can rust and I'll decay. I know Joanna will be fine. That's all that I was hoping for. So go, someone will find me too, in all this oil on the floor.
Thank you. Thank you all for listening to that one. It's a sentimental one that I like. I like it quite a bit. But now let's lift things up with a happier song. A much happier song. A very, very cheerful, energetic song. Yeah, that's the thing to do. Let's brighten up the lights for this one. Bright, 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 bright. Bright. There. That's too bright. Better. And yeah, that's the way I want it. All right. And it's blue, like the sea, which is perfect because the song is called Across the Sea. So now let's come with me across the sea. A better world we'll find. Take the pain and strife of your former life and leave it all behind. To this filthy island prison, locked away for all the crimes that none of us have done. Rotting in this dungeon where it's grimy, dark and pungent, but all of us should be out in the sun. Been saving my utensils and some extra bits of metal. I'm sorry, I had the wrong notes on my thing here. Alright, so now let's come with me across the sea. A better world we'll find. Take the pain and strife out of former life and leave it all behind. Alright, let's do this. Feeling so elated once we've all been liberated. Then we'll work together and we'll build a simple ship. It may sway and it may totter, but we'll stay above the water and we'll make it through our rough and tumble trip. Yes, we will. We may get a bit addicted to a life so unrestricted as we sail the open water and we sail the ocean breeze. You wanna be with me, man? You and me and be a seaman. Guarantee we'll have a life of ease. So now let's come with me across the sea. A better world we'll find. Take the pain and strife of your former life and leave it all behind. All right, let's jam. Oh, that threw me off with a whole song. Well, it seems our situation's got its share of complications. The prison guard was listening and overheard our scheme. Our tools are confiscated, we refuse to feel deflated, cause they can never take away our dreams. So now let's come with me across the sea. A better world we'll find. Take the pain and strife of your former life and leave it all behind. And it's gonna happen. Come with me across the sea. A better world we'll find. The best there is. Pain and strife of your former life and leave it all behind. Ain't that a crying shame? So now let's listen to me as I screw it up. I screwed it up big time. I will play this song, but it's all coming wrong, and that's just fine. Well, thank you for bearing with me even with when I make mistakes. And trust me, I make a lot of them. And thank you so much, Mr. Cardino. There's a comment in there, by the way, from Mr. Greg Cardino, my old high school, well, I don't want to call him old, back when I was in high school. Back in my old days, he was my high school TV production teacher. He was a major influence. So thank you so much for joining. All right. Danger on the Dance Floor. It's a song I don't get to play very often, but I'm going to do it now.
It was a perfect night, dinner by candlelight, two lovers walking hand in hand. Champagne and perfume, then to the ballroom, the singer signals to the band. The couple tango, and then fandango, they've never danced like this before. Nary a care and both unaware that there's danger on the dance floor. They dance the night away, but from her hideaway, someone is watching every move. A former lover who's just discovered that he's moved on to someone new. She's seeing red now, she wants him dead now. She goes and barricades the door. Isn't it sad this woman is mad now? There's danger on the dance floor. Then the dancers stop because they think that they hear a funny sound. Then all of a sudden the chandelier falls down. Da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It misses narrowly, but this is harrowing. The lovers trembled intertwined. They were just out for a night on a dance floor. She is just out of her mind. The couple look around, no exit can be found. They fear she may have one in store. Scared to admit that this could be it, they say danger on the dance floor. She fails to see what is going on around. The band leader sneaks and tackles her to the ground. Da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And in a dashing blur, he's overpowered her. She struggles but to no avail. They make it out alive. Police show up and drive this crazy woman to the jail. So glad that they're alright. It's been a wild night, and to be certain, not a war. Well, next time they said they'll stay in instead. No more danger on the dance floor. Thank you. Ooh, thank you. Thank you. Hello, Katrina. Good to see you in the stream, in the chat. And yes, if anyone has come in late, you are welcome to rewind if you want to watch from the beginning. And hopefully, assuming that this video does not get taken down for copyright reasons from YouTube, so far I have not had an issue, but as long as YouTube doesn't block this video, it should be up for at least a week. I want to leave it up so that anyone who hasn't had a chance, or if you want to come back and watch, it'll be available. And if you promise not to go and pass the link out to everybody, I might leave it up longer. We'll see. Drink a little bit more water. I need the water. Especially in this room where it's getting hot and humid. Where are we now? Oh, I see. Here's a song that I really enjoyed getting to do the video for. It was a spontaneous video that we filmed out in Arizona at Wild Wild West Con. And it's one of my favorites to play. Pound as we drive those stakes into the ground every day. The same old thing, same old heavy hammer that I go swing. Mash us will see our labor's fruits one day. Still they fail to see the light as we drive those big box cars. So we work to pave the way, a better tomorrow but a harsh today. Still they fail to see the light as we drive all through the night. All in all, I'm just another cog in the machine. All my life I slave for a rate, oh, that's never seen. Doubt that I get out of here, but Lord knows I can dream something more than being just another cog in the machine. Just another cog in the machine. We can't all be royalty or grace the silver screen. I was born to be another cog in the machine. Caring for my family, on me they all can lean.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Brian. I'm glad that one's your favorite. Oh, ooh. It's been a while since I've played for 2 hours. Ooh. This is another thing that happens when you can't do shows all the time. I don't have the stamina I once did. I need to get back into practicing and performing all the time. So, yeah. What's this one here? This one. I think it is on this front here. Yes. Okay. We are ready. This is the first ever medieval song. Steampunk medieval. Upon a hill in the land of long ago sat a woeful king waiting for the sting of death's impending blow. A clockwork dragon from the west burned a village all away. Breathing fire and steam, it had now been seen heading in the kingdom's way. Protective of his subjects, this king issued a decree. He stood before his kingdom and said,
This is what we need. Men of valor who will fight the dragon to the death. Warriors to go extinguish fierce and fiery breath. Selfless knights to fight in battle, man against machine. Heroes who will give their lives for king and queen.
The dragon got the king's best men, they were no match for the beast.
To the fire they'd run, and yet run by one every night, wound up deceased. A clean young girl named Valerie with an artificial heart. Although small and meek, she was far from weak. She was kind and she was smart. She asked the king, why don't we try approaching peacefully? The king, he laughed and said, dear girl, I'll tell you what we need.
Bring a brother who will fight the dragon to the death. Warriors to go extinguish fierce and fiery breath. Selfless knights to fight in battle, man against machine. Heroes who will give their lives for king and queen. But Valerie was strong of heart, and she knew what she must do. Her clockwork heart was guiding her, and she had to follow through.
And so she traveled to the fields, and she called the dragon near. It flew on down, she could hear a song quite familiar to its ears. The ticking of her clockwork heart sounded so much like its own, and the calming tick reminded it of its maker way back home. The dragon bowed to Valerie to willingly concede. The humbled king then proudly shouted,
She's the one we need. We need Valerie to tame the dragon for us all. Who'd have ever thought our hero would have been so small? She has soothed the savage beast, so sound your horn and drum. We shall sing her praises now for years to come. Long live Valerie!
Thank you, everybody. Ooh. All right. Well, we're getting closer to the end now. I'm sorry to say, although I could use a little rest, so that's all right. But seriously, thank you all so much. We still have a few more songs, but again, you guys have been amazing, helping me with this, and I promise this room will produce much more music to come in the future. Along with the one that I played earlier, Choke, there's another one already in the works and some other. This room is going to be the workstation and creation location of many more Cock is Dead songs. So thank you so very much for your help. All right, let me set the mood again with some lighting in here. Yes. Let's get things nice and fiery for this one. There we go. All right. It's time to burn it down.
One, two, three, go!
Down in a village where most residents were poor, no man had a factory the folks called the killing floor. He was a surly master, though his workers all had wives. He worked them within inches of their lives. They were all sick and tired of his stuff. Hey! The men decided that they'd had enough. We won't take this anymore. Not gonna die on the killing floor. He won't work us into the ground. It's time to strike a match and burn it down. monstrous machines. Lit the match that would fulfill their dreams. It was a blazing jubilee. Hey, hey, hey! He set the flames and set these workers free. We won't take this anymore. Not gonna die on the killing floor. He won't work us into the ground. It's time to strike a match and burn it down. As the workers danced around the fire having fun, the old man pulled up terrified and screamed, "What have you done?" This factory was the only thing that kept us all alive. Now you've gone and blown us all sky high. Factory was above an oil lake. Hey, 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 and all too late they realized their mistake. We wouldn't take it anymore. Didn't want to die on the killing floor, but we drove ourselves to the ground. When we struck that match, burn it down! Why'd we have to go and burn it down?
Yeah, I guess moshing is not normally the sort of thing that steampunks do, but I've been working on a song just about that sort of thing. Steampunks, we don't have mosh pits, we have posh pits. Let me know in the chat, would anyone like to hear the song Posh Pit? It's ridiculous. Not that that's ever stopped me before from writing a ridiculous song. So if anyone out there would like me to finish writing and release Posh Pit, you've been warned. It's absurd. All right. So I've got another song here to play that is it's a serious one, not necessarily a sad song, but it's inspired by a lot of people that I know that have depression. Depression is pretty common. I'm sure a lot of you have dealt with it. I've dealt with no, I don't have clinical depression personally, but I've gotten down, so I don't fully understand everything that a person that actually has a clinical form of depression, but I do know many close friends who do, and I've always tried to be understanding of the way that they're feeling, understanding that it's not within their control. They can't just turn it on and turn it off. Anyway, I was thinking about that one day, and I had the idea for this song. So it's not exactly heavily what the song is saying, but that's sort of the meaning behind it. This song is called The Boy Beneath. Let's see if I can get these chords right, because I don't play this one very often. Wrong, there it is. Many miles underneath the city, in a cave so dark and gritty, you can find a boy who's hiding from the sunshine. He was mocked and was mistreated, so the lonely boy retreated down into a place where he could spend all his time. Fortress of solitude, cold was his attitude, only wanting to be left alone. Thoughts of humanity felt like insanity when compared to his peaceful home. But in his heart he knew this life would never do, never stepping out into the light. All we can do for him, offer encouragement, say it's alright. Please ray of Cerise, the sun is still shining, come outside and see. The darkness is brightening, even though the world is cruel, there's still a place for decent ones like you. There are others like
us two. So the boy beneath came forward. He was nervous and was unsure. After all, the world had treated him unkindly. Were they really caring people, or were all their words deceitful? He just didn't know if he could trust them blindly. Still, he was longing for life with a little more. Everyone needs a human touch. Those ones down, hidden from the sun, still need warm affection just as much. Pray and we promise you, if you just come on through, you can still return here anytime. And with a leap of faith, this boy then made his way into the light. Please, ray of cerise, the sun is still shining. Come outside and see. The darkness is brightening. Even though the world is cruel, there's still a place for decent ones like you. And there are others like us too. Still shining, come outside and see. The darkness is brightening, even though the world is cruel. There's still a place for decent ones like you. There are others like us too.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. So I guess it looks like some people want to hear Posh Pit. I guess it has to happen. But if the song is hated by everyone, I blame you. I don't think it'll be hated. It's silly. It's very silly. So, I was saying this is going to be a 2-hour show. I only have one song left on the set list. But, I've got about 7 minutes left, which is enough time to squeeze in one more song. But do I have a song on here that hasn't already been played? That I don't know. Because of course I went and deleted I deleted a bunch of other tracks to make room for these new ones. So I don't think I even have another one on there. So, let's see. Do we have a request? Just to fill out the time. Just give a little something extra before I close out this set. Space Cowboy. All right. This will be a fully acoustic version of Space Cowboy. It's going to be very different than usual, but let's try it. Maybe do a little jazzier.
Watch him as he sails out across the stars. A bottle full of whiskey and a brick cigar. There ain't nowhere that he calls home. Space is the only place he'll roam. He looks across the sky,
knows he's gonna be out there until he dies. This is only joy. It's a lonely life for the space cowboy. Space cowboy. Soars through the air, hit his rusty machine, flying through space, letting off steam, using any means he can. He ain't gonna stop till he gets his man. Watch him with precision and skill as he takes him down with out of kill. Cause the only way to claim his prize, bring him in line. When the air is clear and the lights are low, that's when he's off to make some dough. The space cowboy. The space cowboy, yeah. And now, this is normally where we'd have the band do individual solos and whatnot, but we don't have the band with us today. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna continue, that's what I'm gonna do. Because trust me, you do not want to hear me try to fill in for everybody else. And as he wanders through the night, he's by himself, and that's alright. He don't need nobody else to hold him tight. He just travels toward the next house, glowing light, but he's alright. The space cowboy. The space cowboy. The space cowboy. Woo-hoo. Brilliant ending there. Wow. That's what happens when I don't practice that song in forever. It's one that we normally only do as a full band for obvious reasons. Everybody's got a solo. Oh, wow. But thank you for that. That was still fun. And thank you all so much for joining me today, earlier, later, whatever time it is for you. This has been an absolute pleasure. This has been fun, and who knows, maybe I'll do it again at some point. I may do some other streams. Either way, I will be focusing on a lot more music. So that is something we can all look forward to. For now, I guess I'm going to play one last song, and then I'm going to bid you all good night. And I will leave this up if you want to watch it again or come back to it or however you want to do that. So thank you all so much. Let's play this song. Mr. Hamilton, what have you done? Look at this terrible trend you've begun. You make me sick, you contemptible dog. I blame you for the death of the cog. Clocks used to be such magnificent things, beautiful sprockets and dazzling springs. But you gave the people your digital beast, and in turn now all gears are deceased. How things have changed from when I was a boy. Clockwork would tick and would bring me much joy. But with your advent there's no need to wind. Everything charming has been left behind. Oh, Mr. Hamilton, you did
bloody fiend. Your modern timepiece is cruel and obscene. I was a lover of gears great and small. They all were my friends and you murdered them all.
How could a person commit such a crime to murder immaculate keepers of time? Why should a person so foul get away?
Hamilton, you're gonna pay! So, Mr. Hamilton, just watch your back. Hide all those digital clocks on your rack. They'll soon end up smashed to bits in a ball. Because you, caused the death of the
Thank you so much, everyone. This has been John Sprocket live from Timeship Records. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all again sometime soon. Good night.